The number one free agent on TSN's top 50 free agency board was Nick Ehlers, and he's still not decided where he wants to play next season. The Jets did sign a forward Wednesday, bringing in Gustav Nyquist on a one-year deal, $3.25 million, 35 years old, 11 goals, 17 assists in 79 games with the Predators and Wild last season. Well, we're joined by Martin Biron, our NHL analyst. Marty, we wait a decision from Nick Ehlers. It's the middle of the night in Denmark right now. We assume he's sleeping in some super cool Copenhagen apartment and wondering who he might sign with in the coming days. And there's a lot of talk, Marty, about the Capitals and the Hurricanes being the two front runners outside of the Winnipeg Jets. Do you like that fit for either of those two teams, or do you see another better fit for Nick Ehlers?
I like the fit for the Carolina Hurricanes. And look, the Carolina Hurricanes play a style of hockey with Rod Brind'Amour that's heavy on the forecheck, and they want puck possession in the offensive zone. A lot of shots, a lot of shot attempts, right? They always do that. And Nick Ehlers, not that he's great on the forecheck, but he's great in zone, creating the cycle, attacking the slot. I think it fit perfectly in Carolina. And look, Carolina, they took a chance 2 years ago with Jake Guentzel at the deadline. They lost him, right? And that's a trade, but he walked to free agency. They took a chance with Mikko Rantanen this year, and they had to trade him. Wasn't going to sign. But I think if you sign Nick Ehlers, that's long-term, and you know that he will stay with you. He's not going to be able to walk away. So that's what the Carolina Hurricanes have to do now, is take that chance. I like the fit. Look, Washington, I think, would be a great story. But if you're Nick Ehlers and you want to win, I think you're looking at Carolina. I think Washington's going to take a step back, and the fanfare, the whole Ovi thing is not as important this year. It was great last year. So I think Carolina's a perfect fit. Having Ehlers, and not only Ehlers on Carolina with Ehlers, I think it works great. So, I mean, I would like him to remain with the Jets, but I don't see that really happening. I think Carolina is probably the team that Ehlers is trying to figure it out. Probably still work to do, but I like his fit with the Hurricanes.
You mentioned it. It's looking less and less likely that Ehlers returns to Winnipeg. Now, the Jets do sign Gustav Nyquist, very serviceable player, veteran. They've already got Jonathan Taves signed. However, if they lose Ehlers, and they already lost Mason Appleton, Marty, on Wednesday, a 2-year deal to Detroit. That's another one of their forwards out the door. Does the addition of Taves and Nyquist offset the loss of Appleton and Ehlers potentially in your mind?
No, they don't. And you're not going to have Lowry to start the season, right? So you've got a little bit of a step back. But look, the Jets were first in goals against last year, fourth in goals for, best team in the National Hockey League. And it really didn't get you anywhere in the playoffs. So when I look at the Jets this year, I'm saying, okay, how about you save some cap room? Right? They've got about $20-some million to spend, and I know that you're going to have to sign Velarde and Sandberg, so you're going to spend a chunk of that, but save some money, because when it comes to the trade deadline, you can go and get two top-end players if you save a little bit of cap room. I think it's all about the playoffs. The Jets are still a playoff team, but as we saw with the Florida Panthers, who cares about home ice advantage? Who cares about winning the President's Trophy? It's great if you do it. But right now, it's about, can you get better at the trade deadline going into the playoffs? Save a little bit of cap room, and I think you'll be fine. But they're still a good team. They got young players being able to step up a little bit. They're not as good as last year, but it's not a problem. They're still a playoff team in the Western Conference.
My next question for Marty was going to be, what is his biggest surprise among Canadian teams this offseason? But I don't want him to answer yet. Marty, don't answer yet. Marty's going to answer that question a little later on this edition of SportsCenter.